Hello, mortals. Welcome to today's installment of True Stories. Today we just have one true story, written by a man in the sheriff's department who chronicles an experience of his. So you know the drill, sit back, sip on some coffee and listen. Man in the House by Leoofalexandria. I work for a special unit with the Sheriff's Department. The official designation is the Electronic Monitoring Unit. We install, monitor, and enforce all rules and policies designated when given a GPS tether. I am sure when I say ankle monitor, most people will understand that a little clearer. Most of the time is spent tracking people, making sure they are within their court-ordered curfew, etc. Like all police work, nothing is routine. But it's not exactly all PD Live or whatever true cop show you can think of. I've been on some exciting calls working in tether. When someone attempts to cut one of these bad boys off, we get an alert immediately. The rush to get to the person before they get the tether off is intense. It's even more intense when they do remove it and you find some later. Manhunting is the most exciting. I'm sure you've all read The Most Dangerous Game. I have been on some strange calls, too. Every police officer has one or two stories bordering on paranormal. Back in my early days working the jail, I used to hear noises during the midnight shift when I was ordered over to work. And not inmate noises, those I was used to. I mean banging sounds coming from the hallway closets where linen and toilet paper is kept. Once I passed a door and heard what I thought was a shotgun going off inside. I probably had to change my uniform after that. It was really like someone kicking the door from the inside as hard as they could. It took a minute, but I did check inside to find nothing, of course. Back in 1993, our department lost a sergeant in the line of duty. He was making normal security rounds in one of the old jails downtown when an inmate took him hostage with a handgun. You can imagine how terrifying this would be for anyone, but you are not supposed to face anyone with a gun inside of the jail. It is still not known how that gun came into the jail. Most people think the inmate somehow got it fished to him from the outside, or it was an officer that brought the weapon in for an inmate. That is a possibility I hate to consider. One day I was working that jail, doing normal security rounds. I remember seeing a shadow walking down the long concrete hallway. I did not think much of it at the time until I remembered that the hallway didn't have any outlets left or right, meaning that I saw this man walking down the hall. I looked down, and when I looked back, he was gone. I went to look for him, and he was nowhere to be found. It took me a while to put the pieces together. I asked my partner what floor had that sergeant been killed on. The one we are on right now, is what he said. The jail is one thing, but having some creepy shit happen out in the outside world is another. I go through a lot of houses in my job. You could not believe how people live out here. Think about how you were raised and look around your home. It is not the same where I work. I will not say where, but it is a major U.S. city with major U.S. problems. Poor problems, racial problems, and awful sports teams to boot. Let me set this call up for you. My partner and I are in the office, monitoring and maintaining our population on Tether, which is well into the 1000s. We have more people on GPS than in all our jails combined. My partner gets an alert that someone on his caseload has a low battery. These devices are solid. The battery life lasts about 3 to 4 days if you charge it for 2 hours. Compared to our cell phones, that seems reasonable. But you just can't get some of these people to follow the rules, which is why they're in this situation in the first place. My partner goes through the process of trying to get this guy to start charging. Calling will not work. Can't get a hold of any of his friends or family either. Last resort is calling the actual device on his leg. The company we use that develops the GPS tethers has a monitoring center, open 24 hours. We can call them and be patched through to the device. Finally, we get a hold of him. "Just charge your tether, man," my partner yells into the phone. It's hard to hear the subject's response, but it sounds like he acknowledges it. He is staying at a friend's house right now in the southwest part of the city, which of course we can see. He of course lost his charge cord for the device. My partner decides, since we're pretty close to him, why don't we just run another out to him? Sounds like a plan, I think, and start getting my gear on. There was nothing strange about the house when we pulled up. Normal looking 2-story corner house with shit all over the overgrown yard, and several cars in various states of decay. I checked an app on my county issued cell phone that shows me where the GPS points are on anyone that wears one. I just wanted to make sure it was still communicating and that he's at this house. It looked like a yes for both. My partner gets to the door, knocks, and asks for Mike. I'm at the side of the house watching the side door, but also keeping eyes on my partner. I hear a female voice call for Mike. Another male voice is speaking to my partner too. At this point, since contact was made, I didn't feel like anyone's going to burst out the side or back of the house. I make my way back to my partner. I now identify the two people he's speaking with. The male is maybe in his early 20s, the female about the same. Both are what you would call in rough shape. Had something of a zombie vibe to them. Strung out, if you get me. As I'm walking up, I can also surmise that the guy is telling my partner something to the effect that the guy known as Mike is not in fact at his home. My partner calmly tells him that we know he's here, and we just saw his last tracking point, which puts him right on top of us, literally so to speak. I believed he was upstairs. If he's not here, why did the female call for him? Again, we're just here to give him a charge cord. No one was in trouble. This kid starts to get shifty. Here go to the eyes peeking around, the rubbing of the hands, and then the flat-out lies. "Look, he was here maybe 10 minutes ago, but he ain't here now. I don't let dopers in my home." Okay, bullshit aside, we still have to figure this out. I want to go back to our vehicle, look at the tracking, see what's going on. It is possible that we could have just missed him. The tether calls out a location every 5 minutes. It's not live tracking. He may have just left when we pulled up, however unlikely it was possible. All I had to do was wait for his next point. Ding, the point is in. Let's see where this low charger is. Well, he is still at the house. Again, we go to the front, and again the kid says he's not here, he just left. I look at my phone, now getting more frustrated. What the? I say out loud. Now there is a strap tamper alert for Mike. This means that our guy may have just started to cut the tether off. I'm confused how all of this had gone. My partner starts grilling this kid again. "Look, cut the crap, where is he?" Still not giving the kid up. I look around the area. Maybe this idiot did cut it off and throw it around the porch, and the alert just came in too late. I don't see anything though. And I would have heard the alarm if he did cut it off. It's louder than some ambulance sirens. Something feels strange about this whole thing. The kid invites us to look around and we take him up on his offer. Nothing better than a consent to search a home. Once we get in, I'm immediately taken back by the piss and cat feces smell of the home. There's literal trash in all the rooms. Like the doors can't even close because they're blocked by trash. This is going to be a nightmare to search through. I can tell you right now, I didn't go through any of those trash rooms. My partner and I cleared the bottom floor as best we could and started moving upstairs. This is where things get eerie. The staircase twisted, odd for this type of home in this area. Like I said, I go through a lot of houses, it's just something you don't see that often. Once we reach the top, we are all of a sudden in the Stanley Hotel. In Stephen King's The Shining, it was known as the Overlook Hotel. The hallway stretched for an impossible length. The carpet was red with yellow triangles. I don't think there was carpet downstairs anywhere. The hairs are starting to stand up now, a feeling of unease is thick, as the hallway juts in and out. There's a room every 5 feet or so, and there must have been 6 to 7 rooms up there. That is just not possible for a house like that, and every single door was padlocked from the outside. I was beyond done trying to make anything add up with this situation. I told my partner to hold the downstairs, so no one came up behind us. Since the doors were locked, I was not bothering with them. Once I got to the end of the hall, I gave up and turned around. I called my partner back to form a game plan. I think we're about done here, I said. I don't know what's going on with this guy's device. Maybe he cut it and smashed it. Either way, I think we need to get out of that house as soon as possible. As we were heading for the winding stairs, we both heard a low thump. We look at each other with that, "You hear that?" facial expression. While we both stand still, I hear scratching noises, followed with another thumping. I don't believe either of us could tell which direction it was coming from. Weird, but could be anything at this point. I'm still leaving, and as I'm passing a door, my heart stops. First, I see movement out of the corner of my eye. Slowly turning to my left, I'm looking directly into someone's eyeball peering between the slightly open door. 10 dirty fingers start poking out, trying to open the door. Imagine the lead character from the movie I mentioned earlier. Here's Mikey. This guy didn't look like the person we were looking for. "Who the hell are you?" I asked. Embarrassed, I couldn't tone down how shocked I was. "That's him," my partner said. Once I snapped back to reality, I didn't think, just acted. I blasted that door Spartan style, sending our pal Mike across the room. After being taken into custody, we questioned him and he said he got scared when he heard the police were at the door. He hid and stupidly tried to cut the device off his leg. Pretty simple and thankfully safe outcome. After having some choice words for the kid we first dealt with, we brought our guy to jail and that was that. But I'll never forget seeing that hallway for the first time. All those strange padlocked doors, and the eyeball staring at me from the darkness.